Now that you know the focal point of your message, you can use the P.R.E.S.A outline below to write your speech. P stands for point, R stands for reason, E stands for examples, S stands for summary, and A stands for action. And together, that spells P.R.E.S.A. Let's look at P point. What type of message do you want to give? You can use a fairy tale message, such as Hansel and Gretel or Sleeping Beauty. You can use adages, such as, "You can make a difference," or "It takes a village to raise a child." You can even use a warning like the boy who cried wolf story. You can turn a warning message around into a humorous message. Or you can use a cliche, like "Easier said than done." You can use a quote, a question, an emotional statement, or a benefit statement. For your quote, you can use your favorite line from the Words of Wisdom life lesson you chose from You Have the Power. Read the Words of Wisdom, or WOW, and each line or thought can be a point for one speech. If there are 25 lines in the one page of WOWs found in the book, you can potentially have 25 speeches. Then you're going to punch up your point to make it an attention grabber. So if you need to create a longer speech, you can add another point to start another P.R.E.S.A. Let's look at a P.R.E.S.A example. If you look up trust in the book, the first line is "Trust can be so liberating." So Sherry says, "Trust can be so liberating. I love this WOW because it lets me know how far I've come. Without trust, there is only fear and loneliness." Let's look at R reason. You can back up your point with supporting information such as a reference or statistics if appropriate. For instance, according to XYZ source, or 1 out of 5 dentists. You can also use survey results that you gathered from the organization that you're speaking to. You might want to mention consequences to avoid and benefits to gain if you state a message that implies action, such as "Invest today for a brighter tomorrow." You can mention common reasons people are victims of a pitfall, or what happens if they ignore the warnings. Let's look at the P.R.E.S.A example for reason. Sherry says, "In the past, I would never have believed that I'd be able to identify with the idea of trusting as liberating. I was so afraid to trust, I was paralyzed from moving forward in my life. Thinking about trust confined my mind, body, and spirit. This fear made me a prisoner." Let's look at E, which is examples. Your examples and or your story help solidify the message. Choose 2 to 3 examples in your life that support the WOW line you chose. This is how you will tell your story. In the story setup, share some background of who you were and how the challenges you had to overcome prevented you from being who you wanted to be or caused you to be someone you didn't like. In the story turnaround, tell us what the solution was that you used to overcome the challenge and how others can use it or get it, etc. In the story solution, let us know the outcome. Did you become a better person after the challenges in your life were overcome? How was your product solution responsible for that outcome? In this P.R.E.S.A example, let's look at the story setup. You want to give some background for your story so people will care about hearing it. For example, Sherry says, "You see, 3 years ago, I was happily married, or so it seemed." Then her story is going to go into some detail here. She'll give examples of why she did not trust and how what she feared came upon her. Now let's look at the story turnaround. After getting empathy, you can now point to the light at the end of the dark tunnel. You can share where the fork in the road happened for the light to appear for you. For example, Sherry says, "After A, B, or C happened, I decided I had 2 choices, trust or live in fear." Now let's look at the story solutions. Whatever tools you recommend as solutions to your target market's problems are mentioned right here. For example, Sherry says, "I started using the self-coaching program outlined in Think It, Do It, You Have the Power 52 Life Lessons. It includes doing the daily activities listed in the book and meeting with a mastermind group." For your summary, tell them what you told them. Remind them of the message you want to get across. Then remind them of the key points covered, plus benefits of using what you presented. This can be a 1-line summary, a paragraph, or it can be put into bullet points as a take-home message. In this P.R.E.S.A example for summary, Sherry says, So as you can see by my story, I learned that when you conquer your fears, you build a foundation of trust. Now we're on A, action. You're going to have the reader take action on what you presented. What can they do next to apply your solution to overcome their challenges? You can suggest resources such as the book, Think It, Do It, You Have the Power, 52 Life Lessons, a special report, a course, your website. You can ask them to visit your booth or to purchase anything you have in the back of the room. Sherry says, try these techniques today. Tell your friends and get a 2-for-1 discount on their purchase. Write to me to let me know how this has helped your life. Visit my booth for discounts today. So you're going to have 1 to 2 action steps per wow line that you presented. Let's look at the P.R.E.S.A example for action. Sherry can post her action steps as bullet points on her PowerPoint presentation so they look like this. I will read what she would say. I hope my speech has motivated you to ask yourself if you deserve freedom from fear. Ask yourself the questions that I shared in my speech. If you need help, please feel free to visit my blog for tips and articles. Use the daily activities from the book, Think It, Do It, You Have the Power, 52 Life Lessons. You can purchase copies in the back of the room. You want to mention the product solutions over and over and over again.